This video went viral over the weekend, so this sister in the video was out and about canvassing for Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Paid job. I believe it was $22 an hour, I think so. And so she was out and about, you know, knocking on doors, and went to this house, and this guy's, I guess, Ring camera recorded her coming up, and this is what it recorded, and this is what went viral.
Hi, are you Mr. Whitfield?
Yes.
I'm not volunteering for Greg Abbott, and we wanted to know if we count on your support for his upcoming election.
Absolutely not.
Everybody got to have a job, sir. Remember? Thank you for your support or not support.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Have a good one.
Okay.
All right, y'all. So Monique Dawson was just doing her job, and she just bust out laughing. So this video went viral, went all over the place. And then the next day, Monique goes into the office, and they were like, "They're looking for you." And she didn't know what the hell was going on. She didn't realize it went viral. She wasn't on Twitter, had no idea. And then they fired her. Well, folks have been talking about this. Of course, she's been responding on Twitter, launched a GoFundMe. All kind of stuff has been happening. She joins us now for her exclusive interview, her first interview since this happened. Joining us from Fort Worth, Texas, Monique Dawson. Monique, how you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, all right, Monique. So let's start here. Okay, first, how long were you working with the campaign?
It was actually like our third or fourth day out. I worked with them previously from December to March for the primary, but we had just went back out in circulation.
All right, and so what people don't realize is some people assume that because you're working for a campaign, you support the candidate, your deal was it's a job.
It's a job. That's it.
It's a job. And what were they paying you?
$22 an hour.
So $22 an hour, and you were working how many hours a day, how many days a week?
6 hours a day, 7 days a week.
So 6 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, you know, if I do the math, so basically you were making almost $1,000 a week. So you were like, this was a job. All right. So the house you went to, what part of were you in Fort Worth? Were you in one of the surrounding communities? Where were you?
We were either in Hearst or Colleyville. We were right there.
So anybody who's listening, so basically, folks, you have Fort Worth, you have Dallas, and in between you have Arlington, but then you have these bedroom communities, other little suburban communities, Hearst, Euless, Bedford, Colleyville. I actually stayed in Bedford when I worked for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram as a City Hall reporter, so quite familiar with that area. So you walk up to the house, and the guy makes the statement, why didn't you bust out laughing?
It was really his face. From the moment he opened the door, it was like he was just looking at me. He was like, why are you here? And I I was asking Kim the question or whatever. I had been laugh.
So bottom line is you didn't bust out laughing at the idea of him like, hell no. Like, so basically what he gave you was, hell no, I ain't vote for Greg Abbott. Look.
I thought he was gonna say absolutely. It's when he threw the naughty in, like he threw me off.
Y'all roll the video again, all right? Roll the video again.
Everybody got to have a job. So
No. Roll it from the guys. Roll the video from the beginning. There you go.
Hi, are you Mr. Whitfield?
Yes.
I'm not volunteering for Greg Abbott, and we wanted to know if we count on your support for his upcoming election.
Absolutely not.
Everybody got to have a job, sir. Remember? Thank you for your support or not support.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Have a good one.
So you were like, look, everybody can have a job, you know, support whether or not you didn't diss Greg Abbott, anything along those lines. All right, so what happened the next day?
Okay, so I showed up to work. I was out training, having a good day, getting a lot of surveys, whatnot. And
All right, we're losing you a little bit there. So you said the next day you were going out, you were doing surveys, things along those lines.
then someone had called me. You know, I didn't recognize the number, so I called him back, and I guess one of the managers or whatever, and I guess somebody had tagged Greg in it, so they said that I wasn't going to be able to work with them.
So all of a sudden, so for everybody to know, this is Greg Abbott right here. We've been seeing him. This is the governor of Texas. So someone said, oh, hey, you can't work. And did you try to explain to them, y'all, I didn't diss the man. Sorry, I just naturally laughed.
Right, because, you know, like when it happened, I had no idea it was going to go the way that it did go. I was more along the lines of, I really did want to keep my job. You know, I wanted to explain, like, hey, if they took the context, that was them. You don't see a video like, I didn't post it. But, you know, like, hey, at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. And
All right, so I missed that last part again because your audio is going in and out there. And so you said everything happens for a reason. Then what did you say?
I said, I'm glad Dr. Whitfield posted the video.
Dr. Whitfield, that's the guy whose house you knocked on? Say it again. All right, so it's absolutely not. So you go to his house and okay. Well, first of all, you say Dr. Whitfield because he actually sent me a DM. Saying definitely wanted to get in contact with you. So this thing goes viral, and all of a sudden, man, stuff just takes off. Then you create a go, and again, you weren't even on social media, right?
Oh.
I can tell because your Twitter handle, Lord, is Monique48322061. That's like one of them damn bots. And then you created a GoFundMe. And the goal was to raise $15,000. Man, you have exceeded that. Y'all, look at that. 2 days ago, created 2 days ago, she put her goal down there as $15,000. And so she was making $924 a week. And so you think about that in terms of, if you look with the campaign, with the election, that really would have covered the next 16 weeks. So basically would have covered you between now and the election.
Right.
But folks, 1,400 donors have come through, and so far you've raised $25,620. How do you feel how this thing has gone and how this thing is blown up and how folks have responded?
I feel number one, blessed. Thank you, God. Um, because it never was my intention to like, hey, I'm gonna be out garnering support for Greg Abbott. It was more along the lines of I thought that they had a list of supporters and they were asking me to go, make sure that they were going to vote. I didn't know they was having me just knock on anybody's door and ask them to support. So it to me.
So this is, it certainly has turned out quite interesting. Now, you said that you want to work for Beto O'Rourke?
Yes.
Okay. Is that because you want to work for him because you want a job or you want to see him become governor?
Oh.
Say it again? Both. All right. We said there was some issues with the audio there. And so have you heard back from the Texas Democrats or the O'Rourke campaign?
I have heard from them, and we are, in the process of ironing things out. So when more details do come, I will be happy to give updates.
Okay, well, so just so you know, before we went on, I did text Beto O'Rourke to find out if he was aware of this. Oh, yeah, I got it like that, Monique. Come on now. Come on now. You better ask somebody. I called him and I texted him. Of course, he's on the campaign trail. I have not heard back from him. And I also reached out to one of his aides as well, who is with him. And so hopefully we'll hear back from him. So this is, and James Whitfield is the principal who was fired at was it Colleyville School? Well, he was the principal of one of the schools. We had him on, and so it was a big controversy. And they claimed he was teaching critical race theory. We actually had him on the show. So that's why when you said his name, I was like, hold up, that was Whitfield. So yeah, he had actually sent me. A DM saying that he definitely wanted to get you on the show. Now, have you heard from folk all around the country since this happened?
Hey, I've been responding to messages from people from Canada, Chicago, Bangladesh. I mean, it's just it a lot further than I thought it would.
Well, and so I take it also that now have you always wanted to work on campaigns? Have you always liked politics? Have you worked on other campaigns? Is this a passion of yours beyond getting paid?
Hey, beyond getting paid, I have worked on other campaigns. I was a member of the Texas Organizing Project since 2019, and we also worked on the Beto O'Rourke Project, District Judge County Jenkins. We were out campaigning for Biden. So in the past, I have done some Democratic campaigning, yes.
All right, then. Let's see here. I'll start with some questions. Julianne, you got a question or anything for Monique?
Sure, Monique. This is the year, it's been a couple of years of the Black woman. As a sister doing this work, how did this experience make you feel, and how does it empower you to do further work in politics?
It makes me feel like, like more so less that I'm not gonna have to do something that I don't necessarily believe in just because of circumstances. Now, I have the availability that if I do want to actually go and volunteer for the Democratic campaign, I can go do that. Having to do this because of what I'm being paid for.
Omakongo.
I think it's really amazing the way that the country and other countries and places like Canada have been embracing you. I'm wondering if you've received any backlash from people who are supporters of Abbott or the Republicans in general.
I have somebody compared me to Hitler. I went ahead and shut that down because that's nothing near the range of what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, somebody was definitely comparing me to the person that worked the ovens for Hitler at the concentration camps.
Wow, that's nuts.
Wow.
Jeff.
He works for Abbott. I was like, oh well.
Jeff.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sister. Look, it's remarkable how, we always talk about, we judge people for the jobs that they take without even researching many of the employers that many people work for. I think many people would be out of a job, period, if they research the policies of their own employers. What's next for you in terms of your own community activism and the work that you're doing as a canvasser, outside of putting aside 24% of that GoFundMe for taxes so we don't see you get in trouble?
Outside of that, I plan on continuing to spread the good word. I mean, if I do get the organizer job with Beto, fine. If I'm not, yeah, and
All right, so you broke. Hold up, you broke up there. So let's go ahead and start again. You said if you don't get the job.
yeah, if I don't get the job, then I'm still going to be doing some phone banking and some canvassing, and just hoping that Beto can capitalize off this viral moment because it's his time to shine.
All right then. Now, I did have a question from one of our followers. Let's see here in the chat room. So Janae said, the real question, is she a registered Democrat? Clearly not. Abbott hired her.
I am a registered Democrat.
You're registered?
If they hire you, they always give you the option like, hey, are you going to be comfortable doing this? And I just look at it like I'm a paid professional actor because I'm acting like I like this job.
Wait, you said I'm a paid professional actor. I'm acting like I like this job.
Like everybody.
Hey, I'm not mad at you at all. Well, look, I certainly hope you hear from the Beto campaign. I had somebody sit here and say, why Roland got to let us know who he got in his phone number? This is real simple. If I can help facilitate Monique getting the job, why not? Hell, if you got the hookup, it's called a hookup. That's the whole damn point.
Hello, world.
Yeah. All right, then. Well, look, I'm glad folks have responded. You might want to raise the GoFundMe now to about 30,000. Go ahead and double it. But glad to see people have supported you. And so I'll ask you this here. So when non-campaign, what do you do, or what do you want to do?
Non-campaign, I guess I'm going for my CDL. So
Your what?
going for my CDL. Like in the transportation industry.
Your CDL, what's that?
Like a truck driver. My brother has a trucking company, so we just help out with that.
Oh, you want to be a truck driver? Oh, okay. All right. Well, go ahead then. So you're trying to get your truck driving license?
Yes.
Okay. All right then. And so I saw here someone said that you have 5 kids. Is that what someone said?
That's true, yes.
Okay, so you got 5 kids. Well, look, I'm glad folk responded. And again, if you look at the math, you were making $924 a week from them. And so the money that's come from the GoFundMe can actually, if I run that, it could last the next 27 weeks, almost half a year. So hopefully you can have that money. Hopefully the Beto folks, the Texas Democrats, will hire you, and then you can make this thing happen.
Hopefully so.
All right then. Well, look, good luck. Certainly glad you joined us. And yeah, you never know when something is going to go viral. It had nothing to do with you, but it certainly took off on its own.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. We'll appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. Tell everybody what's up in Fort Party Worth.
All right.
All right. Take care. All right, that is that's hilarious. When she's like, "Look, hey, I'm like a paid actor." That one there, I almost fell out on that one, Jeff.
Oh yeah, that's a classic. And I think it's interesting because, let me say this: I'm so glad you're giving us a moment to unpack this, because this is important. This is so important. Listen, I've been a political activist and actionist. I've been a senior advisor to a mayoral campaign. In 2018, I ran for mayor in a special election. And in 2018, I led the defeat of a $9 billion transit plan that would have just crippled the city of Nashville. So I know about professional canvassers. I've hired them. My son is one of my secret weapon canvassers. Listen, canvassers canvas. And when she said she made 22 an hour, I'm like, hey, that's not bad, because you can get canvassers from 15 to 25, and then you get poll workers. They get a C note in a day. This is what people do. There are people who are sign makers, and they make signs. I mean, African-American sign makers. They make signs for every Democratic candidate in the primary. They encourage extra Democrats to run because they want to make everybody sign. They run signs for the opposition, yard signs, street corner signs. They do radio ads for all sides because this is the business of politics. It has absolutely nothing often to do with what you believe and what jobs are available. So this sister was able to come in and say, listen, I'm a canvasser, I canvass. While I'm working on my CDL, this is what I do. We would be standing in judgment of her if she decided to go stand on a street corner and make some money for her babies, or if she decided to go into a restaurant and say, I'm going to work for $7 an hour, and then whiplash you with the bad attitude that I have in customer service because I'm angry at my low wages. Instead, she says, this is what I did. I love the reference to being a paid actor because it's a script, and that's what you put out there. Believe me, I've seen worse. I've gotten, beep you, buddy. I did transit. I went to a lady. She came to the door with a walker on, and I was trying to talk to her about transit. She said, let me stop you, baby. Do I look like I beep and need some beep damn transit? And I laughed harder. I said, my bad. And I laughed harder than that sister did. This is just what happens. It happens on jobs that you get in a fast food window. It happens in corporate America. And it happened to this sister on the street. So salute to you. And like I said, tuck away about 22 to 24% or whatever Dr. Malvo would recommend so that you pay your taxes on that so they don't get you for that.
Look, what people, first of all, a lot of people of Makongo don't understand the reality of the nuances of political campaigns. There are people who volunteer. There are people who actually get paid. There are jobs in these. And so, you know, Jeff is absolutely right. And so, look, here's a sister who's like, hey, it's a job. I was just trying to sit here, just look, if I'm door knocking and just putting flyers, whatever, on door handles, hey, that's what the job is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like both of you are saying, you know, campaigning is an industry, you know, period, bottom line. And if she's not out there, you know, pushing the platform, she's just giving out information. What people do with the information is their choice. And I'm just happy to see that people are embracing her, because I'm just tired of seeing so many things go viral for the wrong reasons. You know, a cat scratching his behind, or some of these other more violent moments that are happening. Just seeing a sister out there. I'm glad you asked about the children, because I saw that car seat. Supporting 5 kids in this economy with everything going on, people are doing their good deed and reaching out and helping the sister get to that next level, and can hopefully springboard her into more work with the campaign that she wants to support, because to answer that social person who's following you, she is a registered Democrat. This is a win-win for everybody at the end of the day. And hopefully she'll move on and also get that trucker's license that she's looking for as well. Just seems like a positive sister doing the right thing. And I'm just glad that you gave her the attention she got, and that other people have been embracing her like we all are right now.
Well, Julian, when I saw this story, I was like, man, we got to get this sister on the show. I said, that video was just too funny.
I'm glad you did, Roland. As Obakongo said, this sister is doing her thing, and she's doing the right thing. Politics is nothing but acting. Not only whether you're supporting a candidate, opposing a candidate, or even if you are the candidate. This is theater. It's not really about the real thing. We talked earlier about guns and other things. These people know what the right thing is, but they're acting because they want to stay reelected. So if the people down at the bottom of the campaign trail, if they can make some money, hey, go for it. But what I liked about this sister, first of all, her energy, her attitude, her smile, and the fact that she is doing what she needs to do to support herself. Now, Brother Jeff, I'm going to tell you, 24% ain't going to get it. You got to put away about a third with that freelance money. But
okay, there it is.
But whatever she does, what we know she's doing is she's doing the right thing for her kids. And Roland, kudos to you yet again. I mean, you are just doing it. You're doing it, and thank you for giving this sister a platform, which perhaps will encourage other women and men to figure out how to get around this putrid economy. They say the unemployment rate is 3.6%, and I guess it is, but from Friday. But you know what? Our people are still suffering while people are talking about a robust economy. So we have to have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We have to have other ways to make money, to have multiple income streams, and kudos to her for doing that. I just wish we could all just meet her, hug her, and say, y'all, you go, girl.
We welcome you to the launch of the Mass Poor People's Low Wage Assembly and Moral March on Washington, D.C., June 18, 2022.
We are a new, unsettling force, and we are powerful. New, unsettling force, and we are here.
We're rising up to demonstrate the compelling power that we, poor and low-income people, have to reconstruct society from the bottom up.
And we need to do it with the loudest voices possible, the biggest actions possible.
Because we know that there is no scarcity in this land. The only scarcity is the moral will to do what's right.
Hold on, just a little while longer.
We are those with sub-minimum wage jobs who can't afford sky-high rent.
People with disabilities are the fastest growing minority group.
It's crazy to me that in 2021, it's still legal for workplaces to pay a sub-minimum wage to people with disabilities.
There are still so much trial and tribulations that we go through as Indigenous people. We can't get a decent wage to sustain ourselves, nor can we get adequate housing.
Veterans across this nation say enough is enough. We can't pat essential workers on the back on one day and then cut their health care the next day.
Health is a political choice.
What more do I need to do to prove that my voice is just as valuable as anyone else's?
There are still forces in denial that would try to slow walk our transition to a clean economy and a just future for us all.
We have an immoral system run by immoral people.
But together we walk, and we walk and we fight.
It's time for a change. Reconstruyamos esta gran nación.
See, we are people of resilience. As we fight these interlocking injustices together.
When we work together, mobilize together, and rise together, we become a voice for the voiceless, and we become an agent of change in a time where great change is needed.
We need the third reconstruction to ensure that deaf people, people with disabilities, and all people can have the right to live and to thrive.
We know what they are doing, but the question is, what are we going to do? Reconstruction begins when we change our mentality and say it's time for you to get your foot off of my neck.
Let's just go ahead and play Crazy Ass White People. I think it's appropriate. Go ahead and play it.
Girls are allowed. I'm white. I got you, Carl.
Illegally selling water without a permit
on my property.
Whoa! Hey!
Give us your ID.
You don't live here.
I'm uncomfortable.
I'm Majority of players in the NFL we know are black, but you've got a lot of coaches and executives who are living in a cesspool of MAGA hate. That includes Jack Del Rio, the defensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders. Used to be the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, longtime NFL assistant. Well, if you look at his Twitter feed, it's a cesspool of retweeting Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA, those idiots, those two, with that individual and the organization he founded. So Del Rio sent a tweet out yesterday speaking to the issue. Let's just say he was not happy at all with the January 6th investigation. And so he sent some tweets out questioning why you're going to see an investigation into January 6th, but not an investigation into the Black Lives Matter events. Also, you know, this is, he retweets all kind of crazy stuff as well. Now, he's since deleted that particular tweet where he talked about why the January 6th investigation. Well, today, they had a news conference. Oh, and he actually decided to talk, y'all. Listen.
I just asked a simple question, really. Let's get right down to it. What did I ask? A simple question. Why are we not looking into those things? If we're going to talk about it, why are we not looking into those things? Because it's kind of hard for me to say. I can realistically look at it. I see the images on TV. People's livelihoods are being destroyed. Businesses are being burned down. No problem. And then we have a dust up at the Capitol. Well, there's nothing burned down. And we're not going to talk about, we're going to make that a major deal. I just think it's kind of two standards. And if we apply the same standard and we're going to be reasonable with each other, let's have a discussion. That's all it was. Let's have a discussion. We're Americans. Let's talk it through. I'm for us, you know, having a great opportunity to have a fulfilled life. Like I said, every which way I can. When I'm here, it's about love and respect. I love my guys. I respect my guys. But I also love the fact that I'm an American, and that means I'm free to express myself. And I'm not afraid to do
that. Well, shortly after he made those comments, he posted this on Twitter. I made comments earlier today in referencing the attack that took place on the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. Referencing that situation as a dust-up was irresponsible and negligent, and I am sorry. I stand by my comments condemning violence in communities across the country. I say that while also expressing my support as an American citizen for peaceful protests in our country. I have fully supported all peaceful protests in America. I love, respect, and support all of my fellow coaches, players, and staff that I work with and respect their views and opinions. Lauren, he was talking big shit at the news conference. He had a whole lot to say in front of the cameras. But when that comment went around on social, somebody grabbed their iPhone, pulled up the Notes app and begin to bang this out because I got the feeling it was going to be a rebellion.
Oh, yes, indeed.
In that locker room.
Oh, yes. You better believe there was going to be a rebellion in that locker room. I mean, I can't speak for John Allen and Chase Young, but somebody was bound to get stuffed into a locker at some point right at the front. I think they're in OTAs now, but if not OTAs, training camp. I mean, Jack Del Rio needs to stick to defensive schemes and pretty much keep his mouth shut about politics. And, you know, I don't want to get too ideological because, you know, Steve Kerr and Greg Popovich and some other coaches tend to talk politics. And Steve Kerr certainly talks politics very strongly on the gun issue. And so I don't want to be sitting up here saying that Del Rio isn't allowed to say anything. But what he said was absolutely stupid and incomprehensible. You really couldn't even figure out really what he was saying other than that I think he wanted to just say something negative, of course, about Black Lives Matter and the George Floyd protest. It's always interesting, too, when that comes up and people bring up property and not the life lost of George Floyd. Like, the property thing is always more important than somebody dying. I mean, this is unbelievable. And those football players, particularly on the Redskins, they're going to hear that, you know, and be like, wait a minute, who am I working for? What are we doing? He should keep his mouth shut, because that he's got a lot of smart players on the I shouldn't say Washington Redskins, Washington Commanders, of course, and they're bound to like say something. It's embarrassing, and it's particularly embarrassing when you know that Jack Del Rio knows that most of the players that he's coaching are African American. So you say that knowing that, and it never occurs to you that that might be a problem at the next practice. That makes absolutely no sense.
It doesn't, and it did not sit well with a former member of the team, Brian Mitchell, long-time NFL player, played for Washington and Philadelphia. He has a sports show here in D.C. This is what he said. I don't give a damn about Ron Rivera getting mad at somebody having a practice collision until he gets off his ass and addresses this damn idiot that he hired as defensive coordinator. That's what I give a damn about. And if he can't do it, then he's the wrong damn man to be leading this damn football team. How do you expect anybody on that team to be straightforward when you've got a guy like that in the defensive coordinator position? Sounds like B. Mitch is not too particularly happy with Jack Del Rio, Robert. Robert?
Well, look, Roland, this is part of the issue. I think that we can all just agree. It's time for Dan Snyder to sell that team. You gotta burn that thing down, and you've got to just try to like rebuild from the ashes, because every single year there's a different Washington Commander scandal, whether it's the Redskin name change scandal, whether it's the John Gruden emails, which were Dennis Allen, the former official of the Washington Redskins, where he's calling people the N-word and talking about DeMaurice Smith's lips look like tires, and calling Roger Goodell the F-word and this, then the other. You have the sexual harassment scandal that's currently going on in litigation around that, which is also the Washington Commanders. These are just the scandals I can think of off the top of my head. They do not hire the best people, as one of our former presidents was often to say. And it's clear, this goes to one of Monique's points from earlier. When we talk about, well, maybe when we get younger people, they'll grow up, they'll have more diverse environments, being around more African Americans, they won't have these views. There's something that happens to old white folks. I don't care where they're raised, I don't care what happens. That MAGA gets into them. And it's some kind of virus. It eats away at your brain, it eats away at your soul. And that's, you know, you're giving up a multi-million-dollar contract so that you can run off into the MAGAverse. We saw it happen with Kurt Schilling, the pitcher for Boston. He got into that MAGA, he went crazy with it. We see it all the time. But at the end of the day, it seems like the Washington Commanders are just rotting from the inside out. It's time for new ownership. It's time to clean house completely like they do every couple of years. It ain't like they winning the damn thing. So sell the team, get new people in there. I think they'll bring a shaman in there to burn some sage around the locker room. The whole thing needs to be fixed and cleansed from the inside out.
The thing here, Monique, is simple, and that is when you look at these coaches, you look at these executives, many of them are right-wing Republicans, MAGA lovers. And so Jack Del Rio, all you got to do is just follow his Twitter feed. You will see exactly where he stands. He loves to retweet Charlie Kirk and Turn the Point USA.
Yeah, I would like to ensure that every member of the Commanders, but especially on defense, have a copy of The Revolt of the Black Negro by Dr. Harry Edwards. And they need Sociology of Sport while they're at it. And B. Mitch is on the right path with his response about this. I saw also something that Reese said on Twitter, pointing out what Lauren and Robert already have. These coaches are sending majority Black professional athletes who they think of as boys into harm's way in the play of the game, and not having any respect whatsoever for Black lives. Once that is evident, I don't see how a player can have confidence that their coach or coordinator has their best interests their safety, their well-being in mind in the decisions that are made about whether they play or whether they don't, whether they go back in or not, the routes that they play. If they are just part of expediency, if they truly are just machinery, or, you know, are they part of the equipment? And Harry Edwards, I don't think right now he can talk about it maybe that much because I think he works for the NFL, but he's loud on the inside. I don't know, but his work is out there and it speaks for him. And I know that he mentored Cap in a lot of the moves that he made on the outside of the system. And I really think that I care about them being educated enough to say, we don't want to work for and report to and have our lives in the hands of someone who let his whole slip show, who said the quiet part out loud. He can't take it back. And frankly, he wasn't even trying to. And it's not just, as Lauren said, that he doesn't care about death and cares more about property. He called January 6th a dust up.
Yes, a dust up.
And it was for the overthrow.
Nothing got destroyed. Nothing got burned down.
Of our freaking government. And the threats were against the lives of the vice president, of the Speaker of the House. I mean, on and on. He's one of them. Let's just put it at that. He's one of them. And B. Mitch was right. So Rivera needs to be concerned about his coaching staff.
Now, in his statement, he said, hold up. In his statement, he said that he supports all peaceful protests.
Yeah, and
wait. He lied.
Well, but
no, Monique, stop.
Okay.
Guys, come on. Come on. He lied.
Okay.
I said he lied. He was against the peaceful protest against the national anthem. Yeah. When he was with the Raiders. See, this is where, again, when you can bust these liars. When you can bust these liars.
But it's also,
so that they love, hold up. See, it's a whole bunch of Jack Del Rios in the NFL who are coaches, who are general managers, who are head of player personnel, who are team presidents, who are owners. Now Jack, all of a sudden trying to, I got to apologize. I mean, yeah, because there was blowback. So Jack, come on. You lied. You don't support all peaceful protests. You were not supportive of what Colin was doing, the other players were doing. You were not. You showed who you really are. And that's what everybody now sees. We know exactly who you are. You said the quiet part out loud. That's what he did, Lauren and Robert.
So I think that sometimes these guys are daring these black players to do something about when they mouth off. It's like sort of like, you know, let's see how far I can push it before one of these guys says something to me. Well, they're going to get their wish, because the players that come up now are not just going to stand by and listen to this type of thing and not say anything. I mean, there's going to be at the minimum a conversation, because, you know, at the end of the day, these black players, these are the people that people come to see. These are the people who buy tickets for. These are the people who bring the gate. Nobody buys a ticket to the NFL to see some coach on the sideline. Nobody cares about who the damn coach is. You watch football on Sunday, you're watching to see the game, you're watching to see the players. And I think these little things, he's seeing, let me see if I can say stuff to poke the bear and see if somebody's going to say something and do something. Well, he's going to get his wish. He's going to get his wish, because there's a lot of players on that Commanders team that aren't just going to, I'm sure he probably heard from them, and that's why you saw that statement.
Well, keep in mind, the team president of the Washington is also black.
Right.
So
James Wright.
So this ain't no, you know, and the thing here, the thing here, Robert, this is also where I would love for one of those players to invite some of those cops who were at the Capitol on January 6th to a practice.
Boy.
I would love for one of those former cops to stand with those players and and they say, share with us what happened on January 6th. I would love to see some of those players would come out to the practice field with shirts on. January 6th was a domestic terror attack, and on the back say it was no dust up. I would love for them to do that and then say something. I get the right to express myself like you did.
But look, Roland, see, your issue is you're still operating in the realm of reality. Remember that once you are infected with that MAGA mind disease, reality becomes multiple choice. You know, you get to pick what happened and what didn't happen. It doesn't matter what actually happened. And if you ask these MAGA that had one on my radio show earlier, they'll swear up and down that it was all a false flag event. All those thousands of people we saw were all paid actors, that all the cops who were injured weren't really injured, or the people who died didn't really die, and that you know, it's almost like a Jedi mind trick they're trying to play. And it's not that they're lying, because you're saying they're lying. They believe it. And if you put them on a polygraph, you put them on a lie detector, you gave them truth serum right now, they would believe all this stuff 100%. That's what's far more insidious. So instead of trying to convince these people of the existence of reality, you have to work on cleansing these people from society. Why does Jack Del Rio keep getting these retread jobs? He was the coach in Jacksonville. He sucked. He was the coach of the Raiders. He sucked. He keeps getting job after job despite not really doing anything the last 20 years. It's because of this continuous system, the good old boy network, where going back to the Brian Flores lawsuit, where you're not giving qualified African Americans an opportunity to even get their foot in the door. But someone like Jack Del Rio and his MAGA belief system, which comports with the MAGA belief system of many of the owners, is able to keep getting job after job and accumulate tens of millions of dollars. Just think about the fact the Raiders' last two coaches, one of them was John Gruden, and the one before that was Jack Del Rio. You look at what's everything going on in Washington. We have to figure out how to, Congress needs to be going after their antitrust exemptions. We need to make sure that we are opening up their books, find out just how deep this rot goes, because even though these black players are making these owners millions of dollars, these owners are taking that money and donating it to Republican candidates, we're donating it to these Stop the Steal people, to the MAGA people who are oppressing the rest of us. So I think that we have to work on breaking these things down and opening that organization up, that they're going to continue to depend on the United States government for the antitrust exemptions and them taxpayers to build these billion-dollar stadiums.
And so this was the actual tweet that he sent out. Would love to understand the whole story about why the summer of riots, looting, burning, and the destruction of personal property is never discussed, but this is #common sense. That was the initial tweet that actually spurned all of this. And then, now mind you, he said some, y'all, he said some other stuff, because right before the comment, this is what he said. Oh, if they are on any concern about players taking issue with the tweets, if they are and they want to talk about it, I'll talk about it with anybody. Yeah, no problem, at any time. But they're not. I'm just expressing myself, and I think we all as Americans have the right to express ourselves, especially if you're being respectful. I'm being respectful. I just asked a simple question. See, he's doing that little Tucker Carlson little trick, Monique. I'm just asking a question. Why are y'all getting upset? I'm just asking a question.
Right, but black folks, you know, I've been in that studio. Ain't no black folks reporting to Tucker Carlson. Ain't nothing but white folks. My concern is for the people who have to look this cat in the face every day and are put in harm's way every day and are doing these jobs and are supposed to be treated like professionals, and are living with the threat of this man. Of course, they're not saying anything. Of course, they're not expressing to the defensive coordinator, who has their professional careers, their livelihoods, Mama Nem's house, Booger, Tata, Lucretia, all of them, they rent money? No, they're not saying nothing. That's why B. Mitch, as a former player, was free to say something. And I texted him about it, and I can't say out loud what he responded to. Let's just say he meant it. But no, I think it's up to all of us to understand that you can still be in a harassing environment, a stressful environment, an environment where your employer has the upper hand and can do things like this, make for these climates, and not be free to say anything unless you have power in numbers. And so again, Dr. Harry Edwards, people, Find your way.
All right, folks, back to our Road Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment.
We welcome you to the launch of the Mass Poor People's Low-Wage Assembly and Moral March on Washington, D.C., June 18, 2022.
We are a new, unsettling force, and we are powerful. New, unsettling force, and we are here.
We're rising up to demonstrate the compelling power that we, poor and low-income people, have to reconstruct society from the bottom up.
And we need to do it with the loudest voices possible, the biggest actions possible.
Because we know that there is no scarcity in this land. The only scarcity is the moral will to do what's right.
Hold on, just a little while longer.
We are those with sub-minimum wage jobs who can't afford sky-high rent.
People with disabilities are the fastest growing minority group.
It's crazy to me that in 2021, it's still legal for workplaces to pay a sub-minimum wage to people with disabilities.
There are still so much trial and tribulations that we go through as Indigenous people. We can't get a decent wage to sustain ourselves, nor can we get adequate housing.
Veterans across this nation say enough is enough. We can't pat essential workers on the back on one day and then cut their health care the next day.
Health is a political choice.
What more do I need to do to prove that my voice is just as valuable as anyone else's?
There are still forces in denial that would try to slow walk our transition to a clean economy and a just future for us all.
We have an immoral system run by immoral people.
But together we walk, and we walk and we fight.
It's time for a change. Reconstruyamos esta gran nación.
See, we are people of resilience. As we fight these interlocking injustices together,
When we work together, mobilize together, and rise together, we become a voice for the voiceless, and we become an agent of change in a time where great change is needed.
We need the third reconstruction to ensure that deaf people, people with disabilities, and all people can have the right to live and to thrive.
We know what they are doing, but the question is, what are we going to do? Reconstruction begins when we change our mentality and say it's time for you to get your foot off of my neck.
All right, folks. Charles Booker, he is running against U.S. Senator Rand Paul in November for that particular seat. Today, he dropped this ad that got the attention of lots of folks. Check it out.
The pain of our past persists to this day. In Kentucky, like many states throughout the South, lynching was a tool of terror. It was used to kill hopes for freedom. It was used to kill my ancestors. Now, in a historic victory for our Commonwealth, I have become the first Black Kentuckian to receive the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate. My opponent, the very person who compared expanded health care to slavery. The person who said he would have opposed the Civil Rights Act. The person who single-handedly blocked an anti-lynching act from being federal law. The choice couldn't be clearer. Do we move forward together, or do we let politicians like Rand Paul forever hold us back and drive us apart? In November, we will choose healing. We will choose Kentucky.
Charles Booker Jones is right now from Louisville, Kentucky. Glad to have you back on the show. That had to be, we certainly understand what you were doing and why you were doing it, but it certainly was not easy to put a noose around your neck.
Absolutely, brother. That was one of the hardest things as someone who appreciates storytelling and the power of creativity. That was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And it was something that fell on my spirit in the sense of lifting up the truth of the challenges we face. But it was hard. And I feel the responsibility to shine that light, even if it means being vulnerable in the heaviest of ways. That was personal for me.
Rand Paul stood in the way, choosing not to allow unanimous consent. And that bill's passage was delayed more than a year because of his obstinance.
That's absolutely right. And what I'm trying to lift up in this ad here is really shining a light on who he is. Rand Paul has shown us himself. He is someone who throws up smoke screens. He has essentially gaslighted the country throughout his career. He is someone who stokes hate and division and racism every chance he gets, and then whistles away as we fight amongst ourselves. And just this last week, Rand Paul opposed moving forward with even debate on domestic terrorism legislation following the heinous act in Buffalo, where lives were taken away because of the color of their skin. And that very same incident happened here in Kentucky at a Kroger in Louisville. So Rand Paul knows what this pain means, but dismissed it because he said, well, we have interracial marriage now and churches are integrated. He is dangerous. We want to laugh at him. We want to dismiss him, but he is really the arsonist burning down our pursuit of democracy. And I'm calling it out so that we can beat him.
That particular bill there, only one Republican in the House voted for it. All the Republicans in the U.S. Senate indeed blocked that from moving forward. There were a lot of people who were complaining that nothing was done after Buffalo, but the reality is it was Congressman Jamal Bowman who advanced that particular bill, a CBC member who put that bill up. The House passed it, so people can't act like that did not exist. But this is an example of what happens when you have 50 Republicans in the U.S. Senate, 50 Democrats, and you have 2 Democrats who don't want to break the filibuster. And what I keep saying to people is that if people stop just whining and complaining or saying what was not being done, that if you look at, holding Democratic seats in Georgia, Nevada, New Hampshire, holding those seats, and then in Arizona as well, and then looking at expanding the map, potentially there could be a 55-45, 57-43 Democratic advantage in the United States Senate, therefore nullifying, if you will, the opposition to ending the filibuster by Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin.
That's absolutely right. And that's why I am stressing to our allies across the country, this race is critically important. We need to win races just like this one here in Kentucky. And Roland, I've said quite clearly that this type of race will define whether we are going to continue our pursuit of democracy or not. It's going to help decide the fate. And it's not just because Rand Paul is horrific and embarrassing and terrible, but it's because we're running against hate and division at a time when it is really tearing at the fiber of our country. And, I see the opportunity for us to realize healing and to do it together across divides, from the hood to the holler, as I often say. And so this campaign to me is our chance to stand as family, to call out hate, but to lift a vision that's bigger. And getting rid of the filibuster, having an expanded majority, will allow us to do so much good right now. So we can't miss this moment, and we're not going to.
A couple of years ago, you faced off against Amy McGrath in the Democratic primary to face Senator Mitch McConnell. You came up short. What lessons did you learn from that defeat that you hope not to repeat in November?
Well, one of the biggest lessons that I learned at that time, honestly, was that the people of Kentucky are ready. It was a hypothesis, a prayer that I had of faith in Kentucky that if I stood up and spoke the truth in areas where Trump won handily, if I showed up in communities that historically voted Democrat but don't turn out anymore because they think no one cares, that if I do that work, people will respond, and they did. And so the lesson we're taking from that now and what we've done over this past year in winning this primary is we've been organizing early. I have over 20,000 volunteers across Kentucky that are organizing on issues, and some of them have had MAGA hats. And because we're leaning in at a time when Democrats have said there's no chance, and Republicans have said we got it in the bag, we'll sow up hate, stew hate, and weaponize racism, we are building a new coalition. We're expanding the electorate, and we're proving the doubt is wrong. And we're going to blow Rand Paul out this year. And I'm asking everyone to go to charlesbooker.org and help us do just that.
When you talk about running, obviously you do not have a significant black population in Kentucky in terms of, representing 20-30% of the electorate. And so what type of coalition are you putting together? And then we look at the numbers of people who turn out in the primary, not a significant number. And so how are you going to get those disaffected people to turn out? Because that actually could be the margin of victory, getting those people who are sitting on the sidelines.
Oh, that's absolutely right. This is about how we turn out support. And the support I'm speaking of is not just Democrats. The issues that I lift up, fighting to end generational poverty, making sure that no one has to ration their insulin like I have, that you can turn on the faucet and clean water will come out, that we can be safe in our homes, that no one else's door will be busted down by the agency we pay for to protect and serve us. These issues aren't actually partisan. And so we're building a coalition rooted on our common bonds that really reminds me of the power of the Rainbow Coalition, and understanding that Kentucky is a state that is nearly 90% white. We have to speak to the truths that bring us together. Addressing structural racism and lifting up hard realities like this video that we did today isn't just about speaking to the Black community. It's about speaking to all of us in our collective struggle and our collective responsibility to one another. And so by addressing the issues we're really facing and speaking boldly and going to places that get ignored and left behind, the forgotten places, we're finding a ready coalition. And this is exactly why Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul are terrified. And we're going to shine a light for the country in this race. And I'm honored to do it.
All right, then. Well, Charles Booker, certainly good luck in your efforts. And again, a very powerful opening ad.
Thank you, brother.
We welcome you to the launch of the Mass Poor People's Low Wage Assembly and Moral March on Washington, D.C., June 18, 2022.
We are a new, unsettling force, and we are powerful. New, unsettling force, and we're here.
We're rising up to demonstrate the compelling power that we, poor and low-income people, have to reconstruct society from the bottom up.
And we need to do it with the loudest voices possible, the biggest actions possible.
Because we know that there is no scarcity in this land. The only scarcity is the moral will to do what's right.
Hold on, just a little while longer.
We are those with sub-minimum wage jobs who can't afford sky-high rent.
People with disabilities are the fastest growing minority group.
It's crazy to me that in 2021, it's still legal for workplaces to pay a sub-minimum wage to people with disabilities.
There are still so much trial and tribulations that we go through as Indigenous people. We can't get a decent wage to sustain ourselves, nor can we get adequate housing.
Veterans across this nation say enough is enough. We can't pat essential workers on the back on one day and then cut their health care the next day.
Health is a political choice.
What more do I need to do to prove that my voice is just as valuable as anyone else's?
There are still forces in denial that would try to slow walk our transition to a clean economy and a just future for us all.
We have an immoral system run by immoral people.
But together we walk, and we walk and we fight.
It's time for a change. Reconstruyamos esta gran nación.
See, we are people of resilience. As we fight these interlocking injustices together,
when we work together, mobilize together, and rise together, we become a voice for the voiceless, and we become an agent of change in a time where great change is needed.
We need the third Reconstruction to ensure that deaf people, people with disabilities, and all people can have the right to live and to thrive.
We know what they are doing, but the question is, what are we going to do? Reconstruction begins when we change our mentality and say it's time for you to get your foot off of my neck.
I saw Joe Biden walk out there, and I don't know whether the Democratic National Convention is going to be in New York, Chicago, Atlanta. Those are the three major cities. But wherever it is, it could be years from now when you are sitting in your office or you're a federal judge or you overseas doing something, you may look back and say, that was the moment that the Democrats lost the midterm elections and lost the election of 2024. Because in that moment, Joe Biden could have at least appointed a czar, as you say. It has his power. He has the power to do that. What he also could have done, he talked about, what did he talk about? He talked about renewing the 94 to 2004 assault weapons ban. And Dr. Walker, Larry, you may have been on the Hill or around there, so you could probably walk us through what happened. Of course, they let it lapse. But then 4 years later, Obama was elected, and that's when the real shift took place because they said, oh, my God, look, a Negro. We must never let that happen. That's when the United States went over the edge, and the White Nationalist Party dropped all pretenses. He said you should lock up your guns and have the trigger locks. Okay. Then he said you should have the red flag laws. Okay. And 19 states have them, and the one in Delaware is named for my son. Okay. And then he started talking about mental health and counselors and nurses and okay, that's right, mentors. Or where's he going with this? And then he said, and that's why Congress must act. The House has passed legislation. And in the Senate, and I said, here he goes. He's about to blow up the filibuster. He said, we need 60 votes. You motherfucker. See, President Biden, sir, I can't call you brother because we don't have the same lineage. I know y'all like your 8 people, but the point is this. You believe in something that doesn't exist.
Right.
Malcolm X said you're speaking a language they don't understand. Do you understand today that a white nationalist congressman from Missouri, from the 7th District, Missouri, around Springfield, named Billy Long, said he wants to get reelected and he's going to push to get Kamala Harris out as vice president, put Trump in, and then push to get you to resign, sir? It's absurd, but he also said today that the gun violence, he said that's because there's no respect for life in America. And guess what he blamed it on? He said a woman's right to choose to terminate a pregnancy. Abortion is the reason for gun violence. These white boys are playing for the whole ball of wax, and you still talking as if this is a nation. You're the president of the damn United States of America. You may have lost the election tonight, but only thing that might save you is the people in the United States of America, including apparently too many people in this chat, have the memory of a fruit fly. So they're not going to remember tonight that when faced with a moment when you could have decisively said, we're going to need to blow up the filibuster. I'm talking to you, Joe Manchin, and I'm talking to you, Kristen Sinema, tonight. Enough is enough. Instead of saying that, or instead of saying, as you just heard Tatiana say, and these young people have been organizing since before Sandy Hook, since before Marjorie Stoneman, but they in the streets. And you could have said tonight, I'm appointing a czar, and they're going to coordinate all federal policy, and I'm going to do everything in my power. We've already teed up, and tomorrow you're going to see me sign these orders. In other words, you could have done that, but instead of that, you went through all the things you want. Then you held up those babies that you talked about and those elders you talked about, and you said it takes 60 votes. No, it don't take 60. Larry, tell them that's a Senate rule. No. You swung and you missed tonight, Joe. There are things you could have done. This young lady right here told you right now one of the things you could have done, and that would have cost you nothing.
All right, folks, back to that Roll Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment.
We welcome you to the launch of the Mass Poor People's Low Wage Assembly and Moral March on Washington, D.C., June 18, 2022.
We are a new unsettling force, and we are powerful. A new unsettling force, and we are here.
We're rising up to that we, poor and low-income people, have to reconstruct society from the bottom up.
And we need to do it with the loudest voices possible, the biggest actions possible.
Because we know that there is no scarcity in this land. The only scarcity is the moral will to do what's right.
Hold on, just a little while longer.
We are those with sub-minimum wage jobs who can't afford sky-high rent.
People with disabilities are the fastest growing minority group.
It's crazy to me that in 2021, it's still legal for workplaces to pay a sub-minimum wage to people with disabilities.
There are still so much trial and tribulations that we go through as Indigenous people. We can't get a decent wage to sustain ourselves, nor can we get adequate housing.
Veterans across this nation say enough is enough. We can't pat essential workers on the back on one day and then cut their health care the next day.
Health is a political choice.
What more do I need to do to prove that my voice is just as valuable as anyone else's?
There are still forces in denial that would try to slow walk our transition to a clean economy and a just future for us all.
We have an immoral system run by immoral people.
But together we walk, and we walk and we fight.
It's time for a change.
Reconstruyamos esta gran nación.
See, we are people of resilience. As we fight these interlocking injustices together,
When we work together, mobilize together, and rise together, we become a voice for the voiceless, and we become an agent of change in a time where great change is needed.
We need the third reconstruction to ensure that deaf people, people with disabilities, and all people can have the right to live and to thrive.
We know what they are doing, but the question is, what are we going to do? Reconstruction begins when we change our mentality and say it's time for you to get your foot off of my neck.
Justice is coming soon.
Hey, do you believe that of today?
Activist Fannie Lou Hamer once said, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." I think that applies to Portsmouth, Virginia Councilwoman Lisa Lucasberg, who last week was fed up with shenanigans taking place in that particular city. A clip of her cussing them out went viral. Here's, though, the full context of her statements.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lucasberg, ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. I did hear the information last Thursday, and I was quite alarmed at a time in our nation where women are misrepresented, underrepresented, not represented, mistreated. This is egregious for this male-dominant council to make this decision today. At a time when my Delta sisters, and this is our Delta sister, is here for our Delta Day, to make this kind of mockery of women is egregious. At a time in our nation when Ketanji Brown was confirmed by the Congress to be the highest ranking member in the Supreme Court, and this council chooses to degrade women, I'm pissed and I ain't gonna say it because you know I can say it, but I'm gonna be cool with it, but I'm pissed. I spoke with Woodard, and I spoke with Battle, and I asked them, had you heard this information? And they did not. They said they did not. But Mr. Battle told me I won't go for it. She's been a great city manager. I'm not gonna put her down. But you sat here and you lied in my face. You lied in my face, Mr. Battle, and I want you to lie to these people to say that you didn't say that. You said that this woman has done her job and she has been nothing but great to this community, which we know. We know she has done her job. We know she has bent over backward. We know she has looked aside to some of the votes that you have tried to have people pay you all for votes, that she looked aside, that she could have reported. She got a lot on this council, and that's why they want to get rid of her. And I hope that y'all seeing what's happening, and I hope you make your decision when November comes. I'm pissed as a motherfucker. Yeah, I'm scared. I'm mad as a motherfucker.
Hold on, Councilwoman.
I am, because I know what's been going on. I know somebody came to my office and asked me to deal with this stuff because they've been asked to be paid $3,000.
I'm going to recess this meeting right now.
I'm sick of it.
We're going to recess the meeting right now.
I'm sick of it.
We're going to recess.
Well, that video has been aired hundreds of thousands of times all across the country. Councilwoman Lisa Lucas Burke joins us right now on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Glad to have you. You tried not to go there, but as you continued, clearly you were not happy. Now, the city council voted to fire city manager Angel Jones in a 4-3 vote. She was just hired last year. We've talked about other issues that Portsmouth, Virginia has had, dealing with your police chief and all kind of other different stuff. So what the hell is happening in Portsmouth?
Well, what's happening in Portsmouth is we have a male majority council who rules on votes, 4-3 votes. And they just felt like they weren't getting what they needed out of the city manager. We recently had held her evaluation period. After 10 months, we held her evaluation period and we gave her scores, 1 being poor and 5 being excellent. And her scores came back average. Of course, a lot of the 4 members gave her very poor scores, said that she hadn't done her job, she hadn't voiced with the community, said that she hadn't done what she needed to do with crime, and just, that her people skills, and they just gave her these poor scores so that they can use it as an opportunity to get rid of her at the particular time that they wanted to get rid of her. And they took 1 year to do this. Who can turn a city like Portsmouth around in 1 year? Of course, she needed more time to be able to learn who the players were and who the council is and how they deliberate on things. But they used this and they said that she had received a poor evaluation, and they used that to get rid of her. And one person said she hadn't been tough enough on crime. Well, tough on crime is an issue nationwide. It's not just in Portsmouth. We have all of these guns. We have these shootings. We have people committing all kinds of offenses with handguns and killings. And, that wasn't her fault. And I don't feel like they gave her an opportunity to prove herself as a city manager. She came in on a 4-3 vote. And of course, 3 were against her. And I believe that this whole year they worked to try to get her out.
You said that that happened on Delta days. Is she a Delta?
Yes.
So
she's a Delta.
So you believe that by doing this on Delta Day, it was to extra embarrass her?
Absolutely intentional, and it really scarred her because she had her sisters there who were there to lift her up. To sing her praises. And we didn't think that it was going that way because I had spoken to 2 of the council members when the rumors were heard a couple months ago, and they said, you can't believe everything you hear in the street. So I said, okay, but when 5 people tell me something is no longer a rumor, that becomes a factual situation. And so we go into this meeting beforehand, and I'm hearing these rumors again, what's going on? And one particular council member, Councilman Battle, told me he's not going to go with them fools. He's not going to let them degrade this woman like that. He's not going to let him down her. And in fact, he said that he talked to her and offered her a proposal for an increase to be able to stay on and to renew her contract. And so when he got on that council and he's flipped and he changed his mind, I felt like that was a slap in my face. That was a slap in the face of the city manager.
So wait. He said that he was not going to vote to get rid of her?
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
This is who he is.
Who he is.
So y'all, if y'all actually, I'm gonna let me do this here. I have it up on my iPad. I want to show it to the folk because he's also a brother.
He's a brother. He's a brother, and stayed in her office, stayed asking questions, stayed asking her for information, and she did not deny him anything at one point in time because she tried to work with all 7 of the council members, even though 4 disagreed with her bringing her on because they wanted someone else that they thought that they could keep as their puppet. And then when we didn't agree with that person and brought her on, of course, she tried to work with everyone. And for them to dismiss her like that was just egregious. And what infuriated me was that he just lied in my face because I wanted to prove to them that they didn't have 4 votes to take her out.
So you said that, and this is where so you said that he literally, that first of all, he literally told you he was not going to fire her. This is him right here.
Absolutely.
This is Paul J. Battle right here.
Right.
And this is, y'all can see, that's his contact information. That's on the city website. So I'm building. So he told you, I am not going to vote to fire her. How long was that before he went to the room and actually voted to fire her?
That was on a Thursday. So Thursday, we had the weekend to think about it. And then on that Tuesday, he went in and said that, she hadn't done her job and he's going to vote to get rid of her.
I read a story that said that she was approached and said, you should resign or we're going to fire you.
Absolutely. And that was Dr. Whitaker. That was one of the members who is the head of the personnel committee. He called her to his church. How do you handle this in your church? How do you be a man of God to bring in somebody that could be like your mother or your sister or your auntie and tell them inside your church that you either resign or I have 4 votes to take you out? And she thought that they was coming to talk about her renewed contract.
Hold on, wait a minute, hold on. You said Mark Whitaker?
Yeah, Dr. Mark Whitaker. He the one we just redeemed, last in 2020 for him to come back on the city council.
Now, y'all, come on. Thank you. So wait a minute. Explain what happened to him last year, because I remember we covered the story, right. and so this brother, so you had 2 brothers who moved against.
Yes, this brother had some issues in his community where his church was trying to start up a credit union, and the credit union went defunct or something to that nature. And there was a forgery situation that went on with some of the people who were supposed to be members of that credit union. Well, one of the members came forth and said that I never signed my name to that document. So it went through a long, lengthy trial. And of course, he's your alpha brother, and he had one of his other alpha brothers to defend him. And that, they worked well with that.
So who else voted against?
Who else voted against? Paul Battle voted against.
Battle, Whitaker,
Chris Woodard, and DeAndre Barnes, who is the vice mayor of the city council.
All right, so let's hold up. So this brother right here, so DeAndre Barnes, he voted against.
Yes.
Okay, and who else?
And then Chris Woodard. Chris Woodard was an appointee to the city council in 2021. And he came on, and of course, he has been their yes man for any votes that they needed to get through to make it a 4 vote.
So these 4 black men voted against this sister.
Yes, absolutely.
Voted to fire her.
Right.
Now, somebody sent me a text who's very familiar with Virginia politics. They said Portsmouth fires city managers every 20 minutes.
That's what it seems like. Because they had a former council that fired our former city council, city manager, and then they brought on, had an interim in for, a while as a city manager. And then we went through a hiring process and then brought in the new city manager in January of 2021. And she's been here for 1 year, and not quite even 1 year. I mean, 1 year and shy of a couple days. And then they want to go in and say that they want to go on another direction, and they want to bring on somebody new. And that meeting tonight was where they want to bring on someone new.
So you, the mayor, and
Bill Moody,
the lone white councilman,
council member,
voted to keep her.
Voted to keep her because they've been doing the job.
Now, how long was her contract? And y'all got to pay it off now? What's the deal?
Well, yeah, now they got to pay her out because they fired her without cause. And
how many years was the contract?
Well, they only gave her a 1-year contract. And we wanted to go in, I wanted to bring in a proposal for us to give her a 4-year contract to increase her salary and to offer her at least an 8-month severance if they decide to get rid of her.
Okay, look, I cover Fort Worth City Council. Who the hell hires a city manager on a 1-year contract?
That's what I'm saying. You know, and they just at will. They figured that she is at the will. She works at the pleasure of council, and I guess their pleasure was that they were done with her, and it was time for her to go.
You issued what some are calling an apology, but are you sorry for what you said? Because look, based upon comments that I've seen, folks like, yo, that's the kind of fire we need when somebody's speaking truth and honestly.
Exactly. And the people who I apologized to was the people who were offended by the MF word that I used, but I was not apologizing for the content that I gave.
I don't think Sam Jackson or Jennifer Lewis probably have a problem with it.
Yes, absolutely. I think I learned it from some of my colleagues and such as them.
Now, did you hear from your mama?
You know, yes. You know what my mom said? I don't know how raw I can go on your channel.
The show called Unfiltered. Go ahead.
It's Unfiltered. My mom said, "Who the fuck you think taught her how to cuss?" That's what she said. You know, you had to survive in this community around here. You know, and you either get ate alive or survive. And I learned how to survive early. And you know, and I'm the only female on this male-dominant council. So you know, but I'm used to serving with all guys because when I was economic development chair, I served with all men, and I have an undergraduate degree from Norfolk State University in electronics engineering. So I'm used to being around all guys. So I'm not offended about anything that comes out of anybody's mouth. I just learned how to get in there and work and to get my part done. And so that's what I've been used to doing. So I'm right at home with this council. So here we are.
And again, for folks who don't know, your mother is the leader of
the Senate. She's the president pro tempore of the Virginia State Senate. She is the person who sits in place when the lieutenant governor steps out or as a way for meeting or out sick. She steps in as the lieutenant governor, as the president pro tempore of the Senate. Senator L. Louise Lucas is my mother.
Look, my position is, you know, sometimes somebody got to say it. And you got to say what people understand it. So I think folk now get it. And trust me, it's a whole bunch of folks who have been commenting about your statement all over the country.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was passionate about it because I said, you know, maybe they weren't hearing me, you know, but now can you hear me now? It was one of them kind of moments. And I think they hear me now. They hear me now.
All right, then. Well, look, we appreciate you joining us. Hopefully things will get straight. Now, did they actually hire a city manager tonight?
No, we didn't. I actually appealed to them to tell them that our council right now is not stable and that we need to wait until November when we get a whole brand new council elected to office, and in January we can go in and look at that process again. And that was not a vote against the person that they put up, because the person that they put up was Tanya Chapman, Chief Tanya Chapman, which is our former chief of police, who was ousted in 2016. You know, so that was a very trying time for our city as well. But I would not allow them to politically prostitute me nor Tanya Chapman by bringing her in as the city manager, because I know that they have an agenda that is ill-willed, and I didn't want her to get caught up into this toxic situation that it is right now.
All right, Portsmouth, Virginia Councilwoman Lisa Lucas Burke, we surely appreciate it. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you so much for having me. You all take care.
All right, let me go to my panel here. Hey, DeMario, she just made it plain, huh?
Well, that's my good Delta sister. So, yeah, she did make it plain. I'm going to tell you the truth, man. The one thing that really caught my ear, though, is she said that the city manager had evidence that the city councilors were being bribed for votes. And from a legal standpoint, she breached her fiduciary duty to the city by not bringing that forward. And if that's true, that's not a reason to keep her. That's a reason to say she breached her fiduciary duty. So as passionate as my sorrow was saying right there, she kind of put the sister in some legal jeopardy.
No, she put some council members in legal jeopardy.
Well, both. Well, she put them both in. But I mean, if I'm making an argument to keep somebody, I wouldn't say that they breached their fiduciary duty and hid others' illegality as the reason why.
She didn't. Well, she didn't. She didn't say.
That's what she said, Roland.
No,
I'm like, whoa.
No, she didn't say it was a bribe. No, I got your point.
That's what a bribe. Hey, she said people have been paying you for votes, and I have evidence of that. And she had a lot on the council that she could have said.
Well,
she didn't say.
To me, that's what you call in the Virginia Attorney General. Teresa, it was interesting seeing all of the people commenting the last few days as this clip went viral.
It should have went viral. Councilwoman Burke, has said what I think many other of individuals who are currently in leadership has wanted to say to their other fellow members. And honestly, sometimes the reaction is behind closed doors, but this one was in a public, council meeting in a setting where enough was enough. And so, I think there was of course, it could have been, the cordial way and the traditional way. But sometimes, when you keep beating the drum and you have to say it over and over, it gets very draining. And I think, as this woman was, stating, like, look, the majority is not in our favor. I'm dealing with a male dominant panel who is, obviously lying to my face and then sitting next to me voting on a counter position. And so again, I'm glad she took a stand. But again, I think the passion is what probably got her elected and into office. So, I don't think you should ever lose that passion when you're in public office. I just think, if you're right, you're right. And if you need to stand for something, then make sure you stand with facts.
Mustafa.
I appreciate Councilwoman Lucas Burke. She reminds me of all the Deltas in my family because they do not play. They know their facts, and they will come and get you. It's interesting. You couldn't possibly think that giving somebody a year is enough time for them to get all the pieces in place, to get the budgets implemented, and begin to see the steps play out. You got to give folks at least 24 to 36 months before you can actually do a real evaluation. I've operated all kinds of levels in the government, and it's nonsensical to think that 12 months is going to be enough time. So somebody set her up by putting that type of a time frame in place. And that's why it's also important to make sure that you have a good attorney when you are actually going through these contracts to make sure that you have everything that you need in place for you to be able to be successful. And also make sure you have that parachute if somebody wants to act up and oust you earlier. And I'll just remind folks, I hope all the folks who are getting ready to vote in November down there remember this moment, and I'm sure there's a number of other moments. But Public Enemy shared with us that every brother ain't a brother cause of color. So we should remember that everybody looks like us don't mean that they necessarily have our best interest at heart.
So Cherry Love in the chat said, replay that, Roland. I want to hear that shit again. She got me hyped up. So come on, play it.
Councilwoman Lucas Burke, ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. I did hear the information last Thursday, and I was quite alarmed at a time in our nation where women are misrepresented, underrepresented, not represented, mistreated. This is egregious for this male-dominant council to make this decision today. At a time when my Delta sisters, and this is our Delta sister, is here for our Delta Day, to make this kind of mockery of women is egregious. At a time in our nation when Ketanji Brown was confirmed by the Congress to be the highest ranking member in the Supreme Court, and this council chooses to degrade women, I'm pissed and I ain't gonna say it because you know I can say it, but I'm gonna be cool with it, but I'm pissed. I spoke with Woodard and I spoke with Battle, and I asked them, had you heard this information? And they did not. They said they did not. But Mr. Battle told me I wasn't going to go for it. She's been a great city manager. I'm not going to put her down. But you sat here and you lied in my face. You lied in my face, Mr. Battle. And I want you to lie to these people to say that you didn't say that. You said that this woman has done her job and she has been nothing but great to this community, which we know. We know she has done her job. We know she has bent over backward. We know she has looked aside to some of the votes that you have tried to have people pay you all for votes, that she looked aside, that she could have reported. She got a lot on this council, and that's why they want to get rid of her. And I hope that y'all seeing what's happening, and I hope you make your decision when November comes. I'm pissed as a motherfucker. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm mad as a motherfucker.
Hold on, Councilwoman.
I am. Because I know what's been going on. I know somebody came to my office and asked me to deal with this stuff because they've been asked to be paid
Let's take a recess. I'm going to recess this meeting right now.
I'm sick of it.
We're going to recess the meeting right now.
I'm sick of it.
We're going to recess.
All I'm saying is, I don't know if y'all saw the mayor there. Y'all didn't see him. Y'all saw his hand. He was like, he was like the usher in church. Sister Lucasburg. Sister Lucasburg. Can you calm down? Yeah, him stroking her arm. She pulled it back. I'm mad as a. Hey, she was not trying to feel that. She laid it out. But hey, look. Bottom line is, sometimes you got to say that thing exactly like it is.
Hey, I stand on my point though. A lot of people may be on the investigation moving forward because a lot of what she said. She said people was buying votes and she knew about it. So I don't know.
She said, "Well, hey, look, and guess what? If I'm the city, if I'm the now fired city manager, call a Virginia Attorney General and say, let's have a conversation. All right, y'all."
Hey, maybe she said she could. Now, to be honest, she could say that's retaliation. They fired her. They fired her because she knew about what was going on and she was going to move forward with it. That's what she should be saying.
Hey, get that check. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all.
We welcome you to the launch of the Mass Poor People's Low Wage Assembly and Moral March on Washington, D.C., June 18, 2022.
We are a new, unsettling force, and we are powerful. A new, unsettling force, and we are here.
We're rising up to demonstrate the compelling power that we, poor and low-income people, have to reconstruct society from the bottom up.
And we need to do it with the loudest voices possible, the biggest actions possible.
Because we know that there is no scarcity in this land. The only scarcity is the moral will to do what's right.
Hold on, just a little while longer.
We are those with sub-minimum wage jobs who can't afford sky-high rent.
People with disabilities are the fastest growing minority group.
It's crazy to me that in 2021, it's still legal for workplaces to pay a sub-minimum wage to people with disabilities.
There are still so much trial and tribulations that we go through as Indigenous people. We can't get a decent wage to sustain ourselves, nor can we get adequate housing.
Veterans across this nation say enough is enough. We can't pat essential workers on the back on one day and then cut their health care the next day.
Health is a political choice.
What more do I need to do to prove that my voice is just as valuable as anyone else's?
There are still forces in denial that would try to slow walk our transition to a clean economy and a just future for us all.
We have an immoral system run by immoral people.
But together we walk, and we walk and we fight.
It's time for a change.
Reconstruyamos esta gran nación.
See, we are people of resilience. As we fight these interlocking injustices together.
When we work together, mobilize together, and rise together, we become a voice for the voiceless, and we become an agent of change in a time where great change is needed.
We need the third reconstruction to ensure that deaf people, people with disabilities, and all people can have the right to live and to thrive.
We know what they are doing, but the question is, what are we going to do? Reconstruction begins when we change our mentality and say it's time for you to get your foot off of my neck.
in. Hey, y'all, I meant to show this here to Breonna and Xavier. I meant to show this earlier. Now, this video is from May of 2020. If y'all want to see how pitiful, there are some black people, you know, people assume that everybody black got rhythm. No. But Herschel Walker is showing us that we gonna snatch any and all black cards from him. This video is now circulating, y'all, on social media. If y'all want to see a rhythmless, I can't call him a bruh. Y'all play this video.
Hi, this is Herschel Walker. Hey, you can see me sweating, but I'm going to tell you the reason why. First of all, keep reading the CDC guidelines right now, and everything is becoming interesting. Stay 6 feet apart. Also wash your hands. But you know, I was thinking, guys, you know, when I'm working out, you know, I have music on, and this is from me just doing some of my stuff early on. But I'm going to show you what I want you to start doing. Just create it. I'm going to create things. Watch this right here. All right, I want you to watch this and stay with me here if you want to do this. All right, take a look.
I mean, look at the look on Breonna's face. Y'all, look at the look on Breonna's face. Breonna, if you at the club and a dude roll up on you and said, "Let's dance," and he started off like that, what would you do?
Let's go get help. I don't know. I think he said he was trying to exercise, but he doesn't even look like he's exercising. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he had a little bit too much to drink before he started.
Xavier, what the hell is that?
Goodness, yeah, that's
what he should have been doing. Would have had a good shot of doing something dope, but he should have chose. I don't know what that was, man. He had the heebie-jeebies or the screaming weebies. I don't know what that was.
Hey y'all, if y'all are undecided on who to vote for, I can let y'all know Alpha Raphael Warnock got way more rhythm than what you just saw right there. I don't know what the hell that was, but that was awful. Man. I thought he's about to next throw the hooks up.
No, we were wrecking you come up there doing like that.
He confused me with a bunch of Omegas I've seen dance over the years.
He did a lot of alpha moves.
Nice try, son. Nice try.
He was doing his hands. I don't know.
DeMario, you
listen, it's sad to see. When I grew up, I was a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Oh, hell no.
And Herschel Walker was a beast player. I just can't believe what he's become. It's unbelievable. I mean, what is he? I don't even believe that's really I don't believe he really dances that way. I think this is just clearly playing to the white base to be a buffoon. I don't believe he dances that way. I don't.
Well, I done told y'all, this is why you should not support Texas Longhorns, Omegas, or Cowboys.
Hey, don't put me down. Don't put us down there with Herschel Walker.
Y'all in the same category.
No, absolutely.
Y'all in the same category.
Absolutely
same category.
Hey, my old knees right now can throw off a better hop than that. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Yeah, you ain't lying because you gonna blow something. You try to hop. Because now I can still step, stroll. I can do all that. But
there's a difference between stepping and hopping, sir. There's a difference. Let's be clear.
You know, doggone well. First of all, if we were in here with these wooden floors and we just hit just that down.
It's your show, man. So I'm just gonna digress. I'm gonna digress.
See, you scared to even do that. First of all, your one knee will be hurt just doing that.
I just don't want to hear Atomic Dog.
Your one knee will be. You can't even hit one.
This guy, you challenging me, dog?
That's it.
That's all I want to do.
Now y'all notice he did a half spin. He couldn't do a 360. He looked like Buddy Lewis. He looked like Buddy Lewis when we were in LA doing that. Y'all remember we were in LA and Buddy Lewis could not.
Who was Buddy Lewis?
One of your degenerates. One of your fellow degenerates.
Fellow degenerates.
Fellow degenerates.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Say it again, Xavier.
I said, y'all be careful on that set. Don't hurt yourselves. Your man just got on set for the first time.
Oh, I look.
What did he say? I couldn't hear him.
He said you almost hurt yourself.
I almost hurt myself?
Yeah.
No.
Your wife texting you right now. She's like, go. Your wife texting you right now, and she's saying, go and get that being gay.
You know you're a roller. Go get going. Do not get on there and go acting crazy, so baby.
Shit, your wife saying right now, I ain't trying to sit here and have to call you and call the insurance, call your doctor.
He challenged me, baby. I'm cool. I'm relaxed. It's his show. It's rolling.
That's all he had. That's all you. She know that's all you have.
Okay. All right.
She know.
I heard. See, I love your staff. They laughing. They.
Because they knew. They were like, that's all he got. That's all he got. Brianna, all DeMario got now is about a 8-second hop.
Well, DeMario.
He ain't even gonna get. He won't even get. He won't even get to the bridge of the song.
Brianna, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So, DeMario, I'll give you your credit because Roland still owes me a squat because it seems like my squats are better. And I can see his body needs standing.
What squat? Okay, first of all, you can't even sit here and come up down. You can't even spin it around, come back. Brianna, you better leave me the hell alone. You better focus on your fire alarm over there. You better focus, Brianna. Brianna, don't get your feelings hurt. Don't get your feelings hurt. Now see, the Brianna, what no pause going down. See what she said. She was talking about some squat. We had a fitness segment. She was talking about squatting. She don't even know. See, she don't know. She don't like no pause. Brianna, come on.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see where he gonna be tomorrow. We're gonna see how he gonna be.
I'm fine. First of all, hold up. I do this all the time. You the one gonna be laid up with bandages and sitting here called a chiropractor.
I ain't gonna be laid up.
Yeah. Somebody on YouTube said, "Don't split your pants, DeMario."
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because he got a.
She said, "Don't." No, actually, no. No, Agden. I'm not breathing hard. Now, breathing hard is. Hold up. Now I'm not breathing hard. Now I'm gonna give y'all a story. I'm gonna give y'all a story. I'm gonna give y'all a story. This did happen. Okay. And matter of fact, I wish I had the video. We on the Tom Joyner cruise, y'all. This is the last story for the day. We on the Tom, y'all.
I'm not trying to catch my breath.
Y'all, I tell y'all he lasted 8 seconds. So we on the Tom Joyner cruise, and the previous year, we had this dance off, okay? And so, now you remember, Tom, he a Lil Megan. So, we on the cruise, and he a Lil Megan.
Okay. It's his cruise, though, right? Okay, go ahead.
Don't matter.
No, go ahead.
Don't matter.
Go ahead.
Don't matter.
Go ahead.
And so we on the cruise, and they had a little concert, and then all of a sudden, Chubb Rock come out there. Now again, he a Lil Megan. And so I sit here and just smoked him and his brothers. Just smoked them. I ain't lying. Just smoked them.
Who's verifying this?
Matter of fact, no, it's all good. It's all good. Matter of fact, hell, here. Y'all call Chubb right now. Y'all call Chubb right now. I'm going to tell the story right now. All right, I'm Carol. Y'all call. Matter of fact, hold up. I ain't even going to call y'all. Let me see if Chubb going to answer the phone. See, y'all think I'm lying. I'm calling Chubb Rock right now.
Call my frat brother.
I'm gonna call your little frat brother.
Yeah.
Because he remember what happened. Y'all hold on one second. Hey, Chubb.
Hey.
Roland Martin.
What's going on with you, my brother?
I'm live on my show, and I'm here with one of your little frat brothers, DeMario Solomon Simmons, out of Tulsa. And I'm live on the air, just let you know. So I was letting DeMario know what happened when I smoked you and your mega brothers on the Tom Joyner cruise.
Talk to me, bro. Is this a factual statement? What are you talking about, smoked you? What is he talking about?
No.
Say it again.
Oh.
Demario, now we can't hear you. Go ahead, talk again.
It got disconnected for a reason.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now. All right, you must got that cricket phone. You got that cricket plan, Chubb. We can't hear you. Okay, we still can't hear you. See, Alpha got Verizon or AT&T.
Oh, that's your fault.
You got that cricket phone.
Here we go.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna have a control room call you. I'm gonna have a control room call you. I'm gonna call you right back. All right.
I always bring this out rolling. This is what happens when we get together. This always happens.
What? I'm just trying. So y'all call that number.
When we call Hassan, he up here, he flexing. It's his show, so he can shut it down anytime. But no,
first of all, I'm gonna shut it down anywhere.
I know it's your show. You can do it. So
matter of fact, Demario, if it was your show, I shut it down.
My wife said I gotta stay respectful.
I said to Carol.
Yeah, I want to hear what Chubb Rock has to say.
All right, so I'm gonna let y'all know right now.
I want to hear what you. No, you say.
No, I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. He gonna confirm it. So we on the Tom Jordan cruise. So Chubb, I smoked his little Omegas the year before. So Chubb was like, yo, I got something for you this year. So Chubb went out and got 5 other Omegas. Now mind y'all, I'm the only alpha on stage. It's Chubb and 5 Omegas on stage. And so Chubb just start hitting it. And yo, they start off.
Yeah.
20 seconds in, they start dropping like flies.
Okay.
45 seconds in.
45 seconds.
45 seconds in, they over there behind the speaker. Behind the speaker. It's 5 of them and Chubb.
Okay.
45 seconds in, is 2 people left on stage.
Okay.
Me and Chubb.
Okay.
Chubb was even like, damn, bros.
Okay.
I had 5 of y'all. I said, 5 of y'all can't handle one alpha. Doc, but still, I was still getting it.
How old is he? Because Chubb was, how old is his brothers?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hell, it don't matter.
So you and Chubb went one-on-one?
Well, Chubb was like, man, Chubb was like, yeah, you know, he brought 5 of them. Y'all call them. Y'all called them yet?
No.
Oh, Chubb ain't know that's the office calling. Let's see here. Let's see if y'all think I'm like.
They got it.
All right, y'all got him? Chubb, you there?
Yeah, I'm in a bad area, brother.
Okay, Chubb, what happened on the Jordan cruise when you brought out 5 of your fellow brothers, when you on stage dance against me, how long was it before they were out of breath?
Roland could not handle the competition.
You know damn what, Chubb, really, Chubb? Hold on, stop. Chubb, you gonna knowingly lie, Chubb?
Now, first of all, I'm gonna tell you one thing. Roland was good. He was in shape. He did good. I'm not gonna lie about him. He did good. He was really good. The brothers were incredible. I think what happened was Roland was there by himself, so it makes him feel that he had a lot of vigor, which he did. I give it to him. He's 98 years old, and he did pretty good.
Chubb, 30 seconds in. How many?
And I happen to love the brother. I think he's an incredible human being. He did pretty good. Honestly, we're talking about this.
The reason Chubb laughing, because he know we got video evidence. Now, Chubb, 30 seconds in, how many of your brothers were leaning behind those speakers trying to catch their breath?
We talking about one-on-one.
Hold on, no, wait, Chubb, hold up, so you can hear this laugh. How many of them, and Chubb was looking like, I be damn, y'all couldn't even get to 45 seconds. They were behind that speaker, bent over, trying to catch their breath. Now, like Chubb.
No. It wasn't bad. It was nothing like that.
Yeah.
I think they all did good. Roland did, it appeared that he looked good because he was by himself.
Hold up. If I'm the last one standing next to you, because they behind the speakers trying to get some oxygen tanks.
No. There was, I forgot what that brother's name was. I think he's a cop. He was doing great. He was in shape like crazy. There was another one of those brothers that was like from, I forgot, he was some kind of, I forgot what you call those kinds of people. A fireman.
Easy, out of breath people. Out of breath people. That's what you call.
And I'm not gonna lie. If I'm not mistaken, when that was over, you looked pretty tired too. You wasn't no spring chicken out there.
Oh, I wasn't a spring chicken out there, but y'all were flatline chickens. Y'all were baked chicken, fried chicken. Y'all were grilled chicken, because y'all were dead.
Nah, it was nothing like that. Hey, brother, I'm sorry that I'm having some.
First of all, of course, Chubb gonna dispute the story because he can't admit that his Omegas were tied.
No. First of all, let me tell you something.
Jamario, be quiet.
We were all out there having fun.
That's true.
Roland did a little bit of something. I gave him a little bit of props because he seemed like he was having fun. He got into the energy of it and everything. It wasn't where he's talking about everybody was out of breath. There's no way like that.
Chudge,
in fact, there was a couple of cops on that stage too.
Chudge, I went over there and patted them on the back. They were out of breath. Now, you know doggone well. But it's all right. I'm going to crack that video out. Good Chubb, there's video. See?
There's plenty of video. There's plenty of video.
It's going to be like January 6th up in here. You signed the Republicans. Oh, no. It was a walk in the park.
Nah, brother. Yeah, I apologize for the.
It's all good, brother. That's all good, man. Tell everybody how they can check you out on the radio.
Yeah, man. You can just follow the Chubb Rock Show, and you'll see everything that's going on. Right now, we're really getting involved with a program when we're really trying to help young black males and deal with this violence and some of this gang stuff, man. So that's really where a lot of my passion is right now.
All right, man. Well, look, whatever we can do to help, you let me know. You can call me anytime. Always good to chop it up with you. And again, next time, tell your boys be ready, because I'm ready. Alpha's always ready.
Love you guys, man. Love you.
Chubb. I'll holler at you, bro. Peace out. All right, y'all. See, I told y'all, you don't know what to expect when you watch this show. I'll call somebody in a heartbeat. It don't even matter. All right, we got to go. Brianna, Xavier, I appreciate it. Brianna, now come on, Brianna. Come on. With your little squats, come on. Matter of fact, why don't you go do a squat right now? Let's see.
I'm good right now.
Oh, see, now she good right now. Now she good right now. See, now as somebody said in YouTube in the chat, they said now you're high siding. You're high siding. Appreciate that. I ain't gonna tell y'all about Xavier last time I was in Chicago, where we went till 4:30 in the morning. I ain't gonna tell y'all about that. You forgot how. See, you forgot how. See? Oh, wow. Right. His Skype about to go out real quick. Right. He about to lose connection real quick. All right. I appreciate it, y'all. Thank you so very much. All right, folks. Back to our Roll Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment.
We welcome you to the launch of the Mass Poor People's Low-Wage Assembly and Moral March on Washington, D.C., June 18, 2022.
We are a new unsettling force, and we are powerful. New unsettling force, and we are here.
We're rising up to demonstrate the compelling power that we, poor and low-income people, have to reconstruct society from the bottom up.
And we need to do it with the loudest voices possible, the biggest actions possible.
Because we know that there is no scarcity in this land. The only scarcity is the moral will to do what's right.
Hold on, just a little while longer.
We are those with sub-minimum wage jobs who can't afford sky-high rent.
People with disabilities are the fastest growing minority group.
It's crazy to me that in 2021, it's still legal for workplaces to pay a sub-minimum wage to people with disabilities.
There are still so much trial and tribulations that we go through as Indigenous people. We can't get a decent wage to sustain ourselves, nor can we get adequate housing.
Veterans across this nation say enough is enough. We can't pat essential workers on the back on one day and then cut their health care the next day.
Health is a political choice.
What more do I need to do to prove that my voice is just as valuable as anyone else's?
there are still forces in denial that would try to slow walk our transition to a clean economy and a just future for us all.
We have an immoral system run by immoral people.
But together we walk and we fight.
It's time for a change. Reconstruyamos esta gran nación.
See, we are people of resilience as we fight these interlocking injustices together.
When we work together, mobilize together, and rise together, we become a voice for the voiceless, and we become an agent of change in a time where great change is needed.
We need the third reconstruction to ensure that deaf people, people with disabilities, and all people can have the right to live and to thrive.
We know what they are doing, but the question is, what are we going to do? Reconstruction begins when we change our mentality and say it's time for you to get your foot off of my neck.
Justice is coming soon.
Hey, do you believe that on today?
Here is an example of the theatrics that I'm talking about. This is Congresswoman Greg Steube sitting here doing his wonderful gun display. Watch this.
In 2021, the Glock 19 was the highest sold handgun in the United States. It comes with a 15-round magazine. That gun would be banned. Right here in front of me, I have a Sig Sauer P226. Comes with a 21-round magazine. This gun would be banned. Here's a 12-round magazine. This magazine would be banned under this current bill. It doesn't fit because this gun was made for a 20-round, 21-round magazine. This gun would be banned under this bill. Here's a Sig Sauer 320. It takes a 20-round magazine. Here's a 12-round magazine that would be banned. It doesn't fit because it would be banned. This gun would be banned under this bill. Here's a gun I carry every single day to protect myself, my family, my wife, my home. This is a XL Sig Sauer P365. Comes with a 15-round magazine. Here's a 7-round magazine, which would be less than what would be lawful under this bill if this bill were to become law. It doesn't fit. So this gun would be banned.
I hope the gun is not loaded.
I'm at my house. I can do whatever I want with my guns.
Raise a point of order.
Is exactly what the Democrats want to do. Now let's just take the policy objectives that they're trying to accomplish and look at the municipalities that have actually.
I'm at home. I can do whatever I want with my guns. Greg, you got a big kick out of that.
I can think of a couple of things I'd love for him to do with that gun. But anyway.
Go ahead.
I got a comment. Can I comment? Because can I say something?
Go ahead.
You punk ass bitch, what you need with all them guns anyway? What you gonna get out in the shootout like the guns of the Navarone? You ain't protecting the damn thing. You sitting up there having this phallic-y, fantasy that you have with all these damn guns and these rounds. We don't give a damn about your guns. Go on ahead and ban them because people like you crazy asses don't even need the guns. Especially if that means that we have less dead children, then yes, your guns got to go, boo, period.
So here's what's hilarious here, Greg. He's complaining that, the lower capacity cartridges don't fit the gun. Well, that means that the gun manufacturers won't be able to, make 20, 21 bullet cartridges. You're gonna have to make ones that are lower. I mean, okay. You know what I find to be hilarious about this here? I play golf, and you know what they actually do? They actually change sometimes the specs of golf clubs. And they'll say, this is no longer conforming to play in golf. They've been talking about even changing, limiting drivers. It's like it exists. There are rules that limit what you can do in golf. Today, I want everybody, I want to show y'all what's laughable, okay? I just want y'all to just watch this here. So you can understand when I'm talking about, when I say how crazy these Republicans sound. when it comes to this issue of, oh my God, we're changing the rules. So Hideki Matsui is a golfer. And what happened was he teed off today and he got disqualified. And so they explain how he got disqualified in a golf match. Just watch this.
Learned prior to, right after Hideki had teed off, that he may be carrying a club that would be non-conforming. You can see the pictures you just showed on TV. There is a substance that has been applied to the face by Hideki's, one of the gentlemen that works on Hideki's clubs. And under
to clear it up, that's that white substance that you see on the face.
The white paint you see on the face there, Todd. So, rule.
Okay, he got disqualified because it's a non-conforming club. And they're bitching because, oh my God, this magazine that's 12 bullets won't fit, but it's normally made for 21 rounds. Really? Right. I mean, part of the reason they're trying to limit that is so you don't have somebody who can walk in and get all 21 shots in a matter of seconds, forcing you to reload and hopefully get someone taken down. They are upset because I can't have a magazine that fires 21 bullets because now they want to limit it to 10 or 12. Damn. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, Roland, that commercial you showed last night, I think, said it all. That chinless bastard is not involved. He was making a commercial today. He wasn't talking to anybody, trying to convince anybody. I think Larry had it exactly right. In your book, White Fear, is coming out. You've been saying this over and over again. This is about a cultural message and a cultural war. Now, like Reese said, the Democrats need to step up. And if Joe Biden tonight flexes his executive power muscle, there is some ambiguity in the law that will allow him to cut it off at the source. You got to define who can actually sell these weapons if he's going to be about it. But here's the problem we have, and the golf metaphor is perfect. You started with the problem. I play golf. Okay, that means everybody's agreed this is the game we're going to play. But see, the white nationalists are playing a different game. When they fought to, when we saw James Craig get disqualified in Detroit to run for governor, the Republicans in Michigan, the white nationalists, tried to get him off the ballot before, because even though he showed up at the damn NRA with guns on his hips saying, I'm going to shoot these guns whenever I want, they said, you don't go far enough. This isn't about protecting your home. This isn't about self-defense. This is about resisting tyranny. That's why they show up with the Don't Tread on Me flags and the Confederate flags at these white nationalist rallies. They want the gun so they can shoot you. Now, they don't give a damn about those babies in that school. Those were Latino babies. Do you understand? They would shoot them. If you know the history of Texas, you understand they've been hunting Latinos since they ran out there and tried to make a damn country in 1836. Ask Chief Franklin, the Tulsa police chief, what he would think about gun control. Ask even Chief Craig when he was the Detroit police chief enforcing the orders, and before that in Cincinnati, and before when he was saying we need to have gun control. Gun control only exists, to Larry's point, you can have reasonable gun control laws when you have a country. There is no country, and the reasonableness for these white nationalists is power. We have to understand that. Ask Ruben Ruiz whether he is for gun control. That is the guy, the Latino brother, who was the wife of the sister Eva Morales, who lost her life in Robb Elementary. He is a damn cop, and he's a damn cop on the school district police force, and they wouldn't even let him go in there. They don't give a damn about us. We have to understand the Second Amendment is about resisting tyranny. It's not about the plain language of the amendment. It's not about safety. It's about, I want my gun, so if I ever get to the point you've been raising, Roland, where I'm scared they're going to take my country, I can go out here and start blowing some damn heads off. That white boy was making a commercial. That one you showed last night tells us everything we need to know about what this battle is about, Roland.
And for those who missed it, here it is, what we showed last night.
Ready? Aim.
I'm Kathleen Wall, and I approve this message.
It's time to fight back.
I'm Greg Gianforte. I approve this message.
Joni's gonna unload.
I'm Joni Ernst, and I approve this message.
I'm Matt Rosendale, and I approve this message.
Pro-gun.
I'm Jake Beckett, and I approve this message.
I'm going to blow away the Democrats.
I believe in individual liberty and personal responsibility.
Marjorie Green.
I'm Mike Collins, and I approve this message.
I'm hunting rhinos. Care to join me? I'm Kay Daly.
I'm Brian Kemp. I own guns.
That all depends on the caliber of our candidates.
I'm Pamela Gorman, and I approve this message.
The Second Amendment is about hunting. I'm Dean Heller.
I'm Dan Sullivan.
I'm Catherine Temple.
I'm Jim Lehman,
and I
approve this message.
I'm Eric Greitens.
I'm Garris O'Donnell.
We're
and then
at
turn this country
back to its former glory.
How to use a rifle.
Bill Ray, running for Congress.
I'm Dave McCormick.
My name is J.R. Majewski.
I'm Will Brooks.
I'm Hunter Hill.
I'm Max Miller.
I'm Lindsey Graham.
Lieutenant Governor Janice
I'm Doug
McKeon.
Robinson.
And I approve this message. And I absolutely approve this message.
I'm Dr. Oz.
I'm Kat Kamek.
Ron Gould.
And I approve this message.
For God's sake, we have to have the courage to stand up to the industry.
That ain't going to happen.
That's why the NRA endorsed me.
I'm Joe Manchin, and I approve this message.
Reese, 2004, when Howard Dean said Republican Party uses God, gays, and guns to appeal to their voters, he wasn't lying.
Right. And Obama said it too, and they ripped his head off. You know, that was some sick shit. And I think, you know, Dr. Carr has been saying it for years, and I'm starting to be on Dr.